views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers, commentators, experts, and/or host. They do not explicitly or necessarily reflect nor represent the channel's policy or the views held by the channel or broadcaster. The broadcaster or its channel cannot be held accountable for all or any views expressed during this program.
Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. This is the day that the Lord has made, and we're going to rejoice and be glad in it. And yes, we are midway through the week, so come on, let's hit that like, comment, and share. Let's do a little evangelizing today and invite others to come on and listen to Wisdom Wednesday with none other than me or Bishop Greg, as I would say, and Brother Javarius, who will be joining us shortly as he heads into work. So we're just so excited about the opportunity once again to come on and share. So good morning to everybody. I tell you, God is still in the planning business. And why do I say that? Because he put us in his plan today to be effective. And as Javaris has said in previous weeks, what are we going to do with the 8 hours of opportunity? So I want to say good morning to each and every one of you all this morning. I see Pastor Fred from Kenya has joined us this morning. God bless you, sir. Thank you for joining us. To Elder Richard Clark, God bless you. Faithful individual that has supported the Faith and Tea. And so I appreciate him for joining us. I saw Pastor Anna Lyons on this morning. God bless you. To our executive pastor, Rosemary Townsend. I see her on the line this morning. Let me look and see if it's Lady Teresa Bell. God bless you. Thank you for joining us this morning. I'm just excited about everything that's going on, especially in this last quarter. If you've been following me, if you've been following even the Lord's House, Bishop Eugene Taylor, we've been really talking about telling your story. While I was over in Trinidad, I ministered that Sunday morning about the prodigal son. And I say it was a PG version. Jesus gave us a PG version of it because he really didn't go into any details as as far as he was out. We just know that he left his home. First of all, he asked for something that wasn't even rightfully his, but nevertheless, God is that parable shows us a couple of things. One, that even though sometimes we ask the Lord for things that we don't even deserve. Did you hear what I just said? That we don't even deserve, that we didn't work for, that we didn't earn, we're not entitled to. Everybody know inheritance talks about at death, but he went to his dad and he asked for that, and his father did give it to him. And he went, the Bible says he went afar off. So he went out of his community, he went out of his neighborhood. And already that's a sign right there. When you leave from your comfort zone, when you leave from those that have been looking out for you, that have your best interests, even though sometimes we don't think it, you better know that those in your surroundings are always at least got your back. You might even have, you know, and I'm just waiting on Javaris to come on. But even in a family, sometimes we squabble, sometimes we don't agree with stuff, sometimes we might not even speak for a minute. But don't mess with it. Don't mess with my sister. Don't mess with my brother, my mother, my father, my cousin. You know how we say, don't go there. And so even though he left and went afar off and got taken advantage of. That's the PG version that I always talk about. He got taken advantage of because we don't go into any details. All we know is that he lost all his money. But I'm quite sure he got duped on some things, milked on some things. Some females took advantage of him and all those type things. But here's the irony of that story. At when he hit rock bottom, he realized that even the servants at his dad's house were living better off than him. And he did what we all should do. He humbled himself, swallowed his pride, and went back home. And so when we look at it from that standpoint, I'm asking and telling people, if you've been following me on social media, I'm saying tell your story. Somebody needs to hear that you too once was a sinner, lost in sin. But guess what? Through God's grace and his mercy, picked you up out of whatever condition you was. And some of us were a little worse off than others, or a little badder per se than others. But the Bible lets us know that we were all born in sin. So nobody's exempt from having to go through that path of accepting Christ as your personal savior and getting saved and living a saved life. So we're excited about what God is doing, and we want you all to continue to tell your story. I also want you all to remember the Lord's house today in prayer. Remember the Keaton and the Spratt family as we eulogize Elder Keaton and Brother John and Callie's, where the mother and then Callie's grandmother. We want to keep them in prayer, keep them lifted up. I share so many times death is something that we still have sometimes problems tunneling through. Yeah, it's a true statement that sometimes, and everybody deals with it differently. And so we want to keep them in prayer. Amen. And also keep our pastor in prayer, because, you know, a lot of times people don't even realize when a pastor or whoever is giving the eulogy, a lot of times we don't understand that in most cases, I would say in most cases, they had a relationship with that individual too. And there's a part of them that's human. Amen, somebody. There's a part of them that's human. So we want to keep him lifted up in prayer, keep the family lifted up in prayer, and keep all of us lifted up in prayer as we be there to support them. And so we're just, once again, doing what God has called us to do. And that's the real story. You know, the fact that he woke us up this morning already lets you know that you have an assignment. Now the question is, like when we send our children to school, are you gonna are you going to are you going to do your assignment, or are you going to not do it? That's the question, because we all, like I say, have an assignment. So the real question is, what are you going to do with your 8 hours? I see G is trying to come on. His screen hasn't popped on yet. So as soon as he pops on, we'll bring him on. Him and I were in a conversation yesterday, and I was like, man, stop. I said that what you spitting out is good. So hopefully he will pop in. Real soon, where he went back off. So I take it he's going to pop back in. But to God be the glory to everyone. We constantly are always thanking everybody for taking the time out. I don't see, the thing of it is, I don't take this lightly, because I know even some mornings I'll be like, whoo, I got to get up. But once I get up, I'm excited about getting on. God bless you, Elder Allen. Thank you for joining us this morning. So we're just, like I say, wanting to do our part. We all have an assignment, and don't take it for granted that you're not important. Everybody, listen what I just said. Everybody has something to add to what's going on. And I just encourage all of you all to continue to do your part, and don't ever take it that your part is not important, because the truth to the matter is a puzzle isn't complete till all the pieces are put in place. Did you hear what I just said? Regardless of what you might can look at it and say what it should be, but it's not complete until all the pieces are there. And so that's really how you should feel as far as being a part of the ministry, as far as being part of your job, and everything else. So I see that he just popped in. Let me get him on. And here we go. And there we are. Good morning, Javarius. Good morning. God bless you, sir. How art thou? As he heads off to work. And so we want to dive right in right quick before he gets to work. But gee, we were talking about something on yesterday, and I told you to stop because I wanted you to bring that out today. So the floor is yours if you want to go ahead and take over.
I mean, what were we talking about yesterday?
Oh Lord, you gonna forgot that fast? Well, we was talking about the game, the Kansas City Chiefs, and we were saying how in life you can put yourself in position where things.
No, it was. I didn't talk to you about the Chiefs game. No, we was talking about Aaron Rodgers. I didn't talk to you about the
Well,
Chiefs. We was
I
talking about
think
Aaron Rodgers.
we mixed both of them in there. But go ahead, talk. Go ahead, go ahead with
Yeah, yeah.
now that
So we was talking about Aaron Rodgers,
okay.
and we you said
Yeah, that was
and
the
you
back end of
talked
the
about
conversation. Yeah, go ahead. Uh huh. Go ahead.
you talked about how the coach always get blamed
Yes.
for you coach always get the blame,
Mm-hmm.
and then we just went into depth. We segued it and looked at my quarterback, which is Kirk Cousins for the Atlanta
Yes.
Falcons now.
Uh huh.
And
There
if
you
nobody
go.
knows the
Yeah.
storyline of the two, is both of them are coming off pretty good, significant injuries.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them are a little older, and they
Right.
got paid a lot of money.
Uh huh.
But with the argument for them to get that money was because what they can do,
Right. There
what
you
they
go.
bring to the
What
table.
they bring to
You
the
f-
table.
you
Yes.
feel me? So we talked about first the Thursday game. Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins doesn't get that 100 million to go
Mm-hmm.
out there and be a non-conference team
Mm-hmm.
in Pittsburgh Steelers. And I know for the people that don't know sports, they
Yeah.
they they might be kind of in the gray area right now.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
trust me,
Yeah.
we gonna bring it all in.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
Kirk
Paint
Cousins
the
doesn't
picture.
get paid to go beat a team like that. He
Mm-hmm.
gets paid to do what he did on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
A division rival, a team
Yes.
that you're going to have to see again.
Mm-hmm.
Can you go get the ball back after you messed up?
Yeah.
After you messed
After
up,
you messed up.
can
Yes.
you go get the ball back and put us in a position to succeed?
Uh-huh.
And he did that.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Rodgers, on the other hand, has not done that and has
Has not. Right.
fallen
Right. Right.
short of that
Uh-huh.
many times. You know, so we kind of segued it to segue it off football, so we can kind of get everybody into the conversation.
Uh-huh.
It really boils down to, like we were both talking about, can you do what is
Ah!
necessary and needed at that
Woo!
time?
Come on
You
now.
know, a
Yeah.
lot. Now that I remember we was talking about, I thought about, I kept thinking about it for like another 5 to 10 minutes, and just,
Right.
I was thinking, like, a lot of times as people, we concern ourselves. We would rather do somebody else's job
Mm.
before we fulfill the job that was asked of us.
Preach
That
this
goes
morning,
for the
son.
church. That goes for the church. I see it
Uh-huh.
with my own eyes. That's not something that I got a hyperbole. That goes for the church. That goes
Mm-hmm.
for the job. That goes
Mm-hmm.
for our personal life.
Yes.
We would rather put our
Mm.
fingers and fingerprints
Yeah.
on any and every area before. I'm not saying that we can't, be ambidextrous. I'm not saying that
Multitask. Yeah. Yeah.
we can't
Yeah. Uh-huh.
multitask. I'm not saying
Uh-huh.
that.
Right.
But how about we fulfill what was asked of us,
Woo. That's
whoever
good.
asked it of us,
Yeah.
before
Yeah.
we. And that's kind of where we were at. We're like Aaron
Yeah.
Rodgers. We was like, for a guy to, after every loss, go to the podium and blame the coach and
Yeah.
blame this
Yeah.
person and blame
Yeah.
that one. And then you look back at the game and you see, well, you had three turnovers, dude.
Right. Right.
The
Right.
the coach doesn't throw the ball.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, did he not put you in positions to succeed? No, but
Yes.
did you do it? Did you help by giving the team the ball?
Wow.
So it was kind of like that. The deflection of responsibility because you're not holding up holding up your end of the bargain. And
Yes.
it seems like that's easy to do when we don't hold up our end of the bargain. It seems like it's always easier for us to deflect what the issue is on somebody else. Reg- Whereas if we just do what we supposed to do, let's go back to kind of what we always say though. If me, you, and Uncle Charlie are all on the same team and we make
Uh-huh.
up this one big pie, 33%, point three, 33.3.
Uh-huh.
If you do your job, if I
Uh-huh.
do my job,
Come on
and he
now.
do his job,
That's it.
then the pie is made.
Yeah. Yeah.
What happens is I only do 25% of my job before I want to see what you got going on in your job.
My.
Or I'm beating you to my job. So now I feel like I got time
Right.
to now procrastinate. And
Right.
what does
Right.
procrastination mean? Anything.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that gets you off of focus of what the job was asked at hand. You know.
Yes. 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 Yeah, that's good. And the thing of it is, just like you say, really our responsibility, regardless of how many skill sets that you have, one of them still is primary. One of them is regardless of regard and
You only ask that to do one thing at a
yeah,
time.
yeah. And the thing of it is, for those that don't know that you was, all star blue gray player, you played
All
down
American, All
all
American. Get it
American. Yeah,
right.
you
Get it
you
right.
played down
That's
on
different. That's
yeah,
different. All
yeah,
star,
yeah.
All American. Two
Oh,
different
I'm
things.
sorry. You was an all star in the county, but you was an all American.
Nationally,
Yeah,
I was a
nationally.
national
Yes.
All
Yeah,
American. Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
let's
yeah,
make
yeah.
sure that folks
Make
know
it plain.
that
Yeah, let me
yeah,
clear. Yeah,
we not going that
yeah,
we ain't gonna
yeah,
downplay nothing.
yeah,
We ain't gonna
yeah,
downplay none we
yeah.
do,
Let,
baby. We ain't gonna
yeah,
downplay none we
let
do.
let's clear that up. But
Clear
people
that up
didn't
real fast.
people didn't realize, even when you received your scholarship, your position was positioned as an athlete, meaning that
Yeah,
you played both sides of the ball. You
which is
were
crazy.
yeah, you played both sides of the ball, but you still was dominant in one side of the ball versus the other. You was good. Look at you shaking your head. You was good on both
Yeah.
sides, but there. Now me personally, I would just say me. I enjoyed watching you on the offensive side because it was
Okay.
very few people that could check you. But you was awesome on the defense. But what we're saying is bring your A game bring your A game. That's all you need to do. You don't need to worry about, yeah, you should know how to do other things. You should be able to multitask, because the one thing we never want to get to is to a place where we can't move forward because someone doesn't show up. You follow what I'm saying? But the truth to the matter is, when everybody takes on the responsibility of, here you go, and this is how I've always felt, that it can't go on if I'm not there. Did you hear what I just said? Now, in
Yeah.
reality, we know that it can. But if I carry the attitude of, just like you're heading to work right now, whether you show up or not, the jobs are going to get done. But here's the other side of that. Somebody's car is not going to get done because why? It was assigned to you. You hear what I'm saying? And not only that happens, then on the flip side, you don't get the reward for doing what you were supposed to do. And so a lot of times what happens is, rather than us doing our part and working on our part and excelling in our part, as you said earlier, we will quickly look at somebody else's part and say and put our imprint on that. And here's where the problem with that comes. When it fails, then we don't even want to take responsibility. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah, that was good. Yeah.
We quick to say, well, that wasn't my job. Look,
You know what?
anyway.
That's good you said that because I was watching, you know, I kind of dibble and dabble in the gambling community. I'm slowly getting back getting back to, like, because the basketball's coming back up, and
Yeah,
that's when
yeah,
we dominated the basketball
yeah,
season.
yeah.
So I'm in a couple group chats, and one to pick off of what you said. One of the guys was basically like, well, that's kind of why I don't like, basically giving my opinions and giving my two
Mm-hmm.
cents
Mm-hmm.
on it, because he said, I'm cool when I lose my own money.
Right, right.
But he said, when I give my opinions and you decide to go with those said opinions and
Uh-huh.
it don't work out,
Right.
I don't want you looking at me
Yes.
for the re answer. You already
Right.
looked at me for the first answer, so that's a
Right.
re.
Right.
Now you looking at me for a re answer of why it didn't work. He said, "I don't
Yeah.
want you looking at me." So
Yeah.
basically, basically that's what basically what you
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
People want to give they 2 cents, and then when it don't pan out,
Then it don't pan out. Yes.
they not gonna be
Yeah.
there to to even
Well, and so going back to what you're saying, to even put some icing on this cake, that's why it's important. See, like with me, one thing that I brag about, and I tell you all the time, I'm not gonna be late. I'm not gonna be late. Now, do I get lost sometime or whatever? I would say yes. Matter of fact, here's a funny story. On just this past Sunday, I'm driving Bishop to our second service. Now the GPS, because I don't go anywhere without putting it in the GPS, just because if you live here in Atlanta, you already know that it's subject to be an accident or
two
construction
seconds, 2 seconds.
on any road. You follow what I'm saying? So I put it in there just for that reason. Well, the GPS was telling us to go one way. I'm looking at Bishop and I'm saying, "Well, keep telling to go this way." He say, "Oh no, no, just go ahead," you know. And so now I'm kind of like saying to myself, "Did I even put the right address in?" And actually, I didn't, but I put it in close so we could get close enough. And then I just, I was just off. It was just down the street. But to make the tell the real story, we didn't follow the directions of the GPS. And so not following the directions of the GPS caused us to show up late. You follow what I'm saying? So what am I saying? If I give you directions, all your responsibility really is to follow the directions. Because here you go. If you follow the directions, then you have all the right in the world to then put the blame back on me.
Mm-hmm.
You follow what I'm saying? But it's when we alter. That's just how it is with God. God gives us instructions. Just just
Mm-hmm.
just like you say, He wakes us up. It's 24 hours in a day. 8 hours we say we work, depending on your job, but we'll say the eight hours is allocated for sleep. Now the question is, what are you going to do with those other 8 hours? No, we're not saying that you got to go stand on a corner with a sign saying Jesus saves. We're not even saying that you got to every place you go that you got to be the one on the box top calling talking about it. But what we are saying is that in an 8 hour period, you have an assignment doing that part. You follow what I'm saying? Because here's the irony of it. God has already said, I did my part. I woke you up. Good God Almighty. I woke, not only did I wake you up, but I woke you up with the activities of your limbs. I woke you up. I allowed the alarm clock. If you didn't wake up on your own, I allowed that to bring you back into existence. And guess what? You didn't get woke up because the fire alarm went off. You didn't get woke up because an intruder was standing over you. So now I've done my part. What are you going to do now with these other 8 hours? And I'm not even asking for all eight. And so that's what we got to keep in mind, that we all have a responsibility. And when we do our part, then we can say something. But when you don't do your part, don't blame
Don't say
nobody
nothing.
else. When when
Yeah,
when,
don't
when it
say nothing.
don't work out like it's supposed to, don't blame nobody else, because the truth to the matter is you didn't do your part. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean that's like you said. I mean that's really what it boiled down to, because that's basically what we was basically
Yeah,
talking about.
yeah, yeah,
If you not holding up your end of the bargain, just keep your mouth shut.
yeah. Just keep your
Just
mouth
keep your
shut.
mouth
Yeah,
shut. Put your hard hat on, put your
yeah,
working boots on, and go
yeah,
get back to work.
yeah, yeah. And
You
get
know,
back to
but
work. Yes.
but like
Yeah.
you said, and we know. that goes with anything in life. That goes with
Mm-hmm.
what we got to do inside our church. That
Mm-hmm.
goes what we do when we are at work. That goes even with our house, and because all of us have responsibilities around the house.
Yes.
All of us
Yes.
have different responsibilities in the house. So
Mm-hmm.
we know what we know what we not even, I'm not even gonna say we know what we have to do, but we know when we not doing what we need to
There
do.
you
We know
go.
when we not
There you
holding up.
go.
We know when we not doing our part. You
There
know,
you go. There
so
you
if we
go.
not doing
Yes.
our part, like you say, let's that I just feel like and it, if you want to, you could talk all day. I really personally don't care. You can you could talk until until your jaws lock. I'm
Mm-hmm.
just saying, if you're not doing your part, let's just keep our 2 cents into a minimum, and
Yes.
just let's just put our
Right. Right.
put our hard hat on, and get back to work. Get back to
Exactly.
work, and do our part. That's basically all we. It's really more encouraging more than anything. It's
Yeah.
not, it's
Yeah.
just to encourage you to make sure that you're doing your part.
Yeah.
Look at it, look and see
Yeah.
if you're doing, because one thing I'm gonna say I dislike, and because you told me you don't like when I say hate. One thing I dislike is when we act like we don't know.
Mm. My God. Yeah.
That's one of
Yeah.
the most frustrating
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
things to me. Like literally, I
Yeah.
that frustrates me, and that goes with all landscapes of any and every variable you can think of, like
But but
relationships,
but but
situationships, the whole 9 yards. Like,
but look,
boy, that
you know who will help get you out of that? Get stopped by the police. Get stopped by the you can sit there and act like you don't know. Look, because that's
like you don't know then, huh?
yeah.
You
When
know
he
then,
walks,
right?
yeah, when he walks to the car, he
You know
asks you
then,
a
right?
question. Yeah, he asks you a question because first of all, he's trying to get you to admit to guilt without him putting the blame on you. You follow what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So
yeah.
just like you say, the worst excuse you can ever use is you didn't know. You follow what I'm saying? Because the truth to the matter is, I'm convinced of this, and I know we got to get ready to let these people go. I got to get dressed so that I can get out of here. But the one thing that I realize is in God's plan with us, He always, here you go, and I will say this word, He always puts us in a position where success can be done. Now, does it mean it's going to happen overnight? No. Ask Joseph. 17 years he went through before we saw the end result, all because of a dream. But the end result was that of success, and that's what God has. Some things we have to go through as what we call the process. The pro,
But you know what, that
yeah,
I'm not, and this is just my personal opinion. Doing
uh
a
huh,
little study and not doing, I don't do much, and
yeah, yeah,
I do it in cartoon versions. If everybody wanted to know, yeah, I'm 26
okay.
years old, and I studied the Bible in a kid version. I do. So and just reading into it a little bit, does he really put a, I'm not gonna say it like that, because we do know for a fact he will put, put obstacles in our path
Uh
to
huh.
test us, this, that, and the third. So I'm not gonna say it like that. But how I want to word this, we can talk about this another week anyway. But
Okay.
even with like what you just said, is it that he throws little, what I say, apples or anything to kind of settle us down or anything? Or does he give us just a little bit of this incy bincy room of error in
Well,
all of those endeavors? Like, so what I'm basically saying is, it's not that not everything, not every time is God putting us through something to see what we made of, to see what's
correct,
on the other
correct.
side of the wall.
Yes, yes.
Sometimes it's just you only got but this little leeway of error. And
Well,
once you
yeah,
do make
yeah,
that
yeah,
error,
yeah, yeah. I see where you
once
go.
you do make
Yeah,
that error, then that's when your setback has come.
yeah,
It
yeah,
wasn't God setting you back.
yeah.
It
That, yeah,
he had the plan mapped out
yeah,
for you.
yeah,
I
yeah,
put myself in the situation.
yeah,
I could have been in the NFL. God
yeah,
could have put me in the NFL.
yeah,
But
yeah,
I had this little leeway to get there.
yeah, yeah,
He
yeah.
had it
Well,
set up. He had
well,
he had it already lined up for me.
Well,
But once you
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
that's just
Well,
my
what?
personal opinion. Like I
Yeah,
say,
what
that's
you saying? What you saying? Yeah, yeah. It's a yes on that, but on the other side, it's a yes too. Because
right.
here's what we have to
Because we do
understand.
know he is gonna put us through
Yeah,
things
yeah,
too.
yeah. He's
Yeah,
gonna.
we do know that. That's
There
why I
you
said we
go.
do
There you
know.
go. Yeah, yeah. Because our statement
But it's
always
just
is
not all that though. It's just not
it,
every time
yeah,
we get a
not
setback.
100%. Right.
It's
Not
not, it's
100%.
not every time we get a set, in my opinion. Like I say,
Yes.
now God ain't tell me that, and I can't find a scripture to put, 100%
Yes.
true put into that. I'm
Yes.
just saying, in my opinion, every setback isn't God setting us back, or even the
That is
devil,
so true.
or
That
even
is
the
so
devil.
true. That is so true. Your uncle,
I think a lot of things God does put in our favor to get it done, to do it, to whatever it might be. But it only comes with this room, this bitter room of air. And
well,
once you crack open that, once you crack open that ice, you know.
yeah, well, because we say life happens, and
Hmm.
Charlie says the test of our faith. So yes, he does. But then he said, but he allowed it to happen. And so here's the thing. Going back to what and Charlie might even said this. Yeah, he did. He said, "Stay the course." And so that's even what we
Yeah.
was talking about today. That if you stay on the course, here's the one thing that you can take to the bank. That if you stay on the course, regardless of what's going on, you're gonna make it through. Listen, we got to let these folks go, and you gotta go ahead and clock in, and I gotta clock out
Yeah,
so
I'm
that I
here.
can get to where I have to be. You know what I'm saying? God bless all of you all for joining us today. We thank you so much for the comments, for the encouragement, and for pushing us into G. As always, I appreciate him coming on with his insight. As we know, the whole objective of our Wisdom Wednesday was to bridge the gap. And you can see that he's helping some of us coming from a different perspective. So to God be the glory. Listen, we'll be back on this coming Friday with an inspirational word from an inspirational speaker. I'm excited. I'm getting ready to reach out to them right now to see if they're available. And I thank God for each and every one of y'all. Have a phenomenal day on purpose. Just do that. Tell your story and have a phenomenal day. And we will see you when we get back. God bless you. Heaven smile upon you. And don't forget that on this coming Saturday, and I will post this on Friday, on this coming Saturday, if you all are tossing and turning around the 5 o'clock a.m. hour, I will be on Zoom. I will put the link out. We will be on Zoom with our family in Kenya having church. Yes, it's 5 o'clock our time, noon their time. And if you haven't experienced it, I just challenge you to experience it one time. And then I guarantee you will want to join more often. That's the second Saturday of every month that we minister to them on a Saturday morning. So to God be the glory. Remember, we're still planning. We put the save the date out. So if you're still interested in joining us in Kenya, by all means, you can do that. Today is also our day of giving. I will put that on the board. Listen, we need your help. We're taking on some big challenges, and God has put you in our life to be that help. Sow a seed into the ministry. All of it is on good ground. And of course, we're 501, so you can actually write these off on your taxes. So I challenge people that if you paid taxes last year, that means you need to be a bigger donor to the ministry. God bless you. Heaven smile upon you. And we will see you on this coming Friday.